Mark gives the same story that Matthew gives in the account, but he says she's the woman of Bethany who was in the house of Simon the leper. It was this leper that invited Jesus to his house, who is a Pharisee. We find out that as we study and as we read that in this account, oh, how great was the invitation to invite Jesus home with him.
That's all right.
Many times Jesus was the one giving the invitation. He was the one that would say, "Come unto me, all ye that labor." He was the one that would throw a feast, a supper, and would invite the nation of the tribe of Israel, the Hebrew, and say, "Come to a great supper." He was the one giving the invitation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now the invitation comes to him. Then when we read this story in John's account, we find that John gives just a little greater detail about this story. He does not just say she's a woman in the house of the leper. And she does not say she's a woman that at the feet of Jesus. But in John's account, John says in the 12th chapter of St. John that Jesus and Lazarus was out at Simon's house in Bethany, and Martha was the servant, her sister. Find out that John gives a little more explicit of the story of how it started. So while Jesus and the men were all gathered together at Simon's house for dinner, and nothing like being invited to dinner at someone's house. You remember when you were growing up, the best conversation was at the dinner table.
Amen.
The greatest jokes was at the dinner table. Everybody gathered together and laughed and talked and greeted during the days that we all ate at the table together. With nothing like dinner, can you see Jesus? Jesus at dinner, but no women are there. It's all men. Behold, behold, there came a woman. And Luke said there came a woman that was in the city. So behold, a woman in the city. And Matthew calls her a woman with having an alabaster box. And here Luke's gospel calls her not only a woman with an alabaster box, but Luke says she's a sinner.
Come on.
What a way to describe that woman. Everyone in the city knew she was a sinner. Why would Luke describe her as a woman, a sinner? Well, she could have been noticed for the sister of Martha and Lazarus, but Luke calls her a sinner. Not even a woman of Bethany, but a sinner. It was not written in none of the gospel writers what type of sinner she was, but most of the women that was not known by their husband names were not recognized to be much of nothing. Anybody know their Bible? In those days and time, if you were not an important person, your name was not even called.
Certain women.
That's right. Talk back to me. You got there before I get there. They are not considered to be much of women or woman, but to be a sinner.